Welcome to Kasumi Geppo, Kasumi Monthly Report. In this podcast, we explore no stories from Japan's timeless stage. I'm your host, and today I'll be introducing the no play Tōsen, which means the Chinese ship. This play takes place during a time when Japan and China had complex relationships over the seas. Though it's set in an unspecified period, the story seems to reflect the 13th to 16th centuries, when Japanese pirates, or wakō, were active in these waters. During this same time in Europe, we see the late medieval period and the beginning of the Renaissance. The main character is a Chinese man named Sokei Kan'nin. He lived in Minzhou, a port city in China, but during a conflict between Chinese and Japanese ships, Sokei is captured. He is taken to Hakozaki, in present-day Fukuoka, Kyushu, where he is forced to work as a cowherd for a Japanese master. He ends up marrying a Japanese woman and has 2 children with her, living in Japan for 13 years. Meanwhile, back in China, his 2 children from his first marriage have not forgotten him. They collect treasure and set off in a ship to Japan, hoping to ransom their father and bring him home. When they finally arrive, there is a joyful reunion. However, the story takes a turn when Sokei's Japanese children also want to go with him to China. His master in Japan, however, wants the children to stay to continue their father's work as cowherds. Sokei is torn between his children from both countries. In his despair, he contemplates throwing himself from a cliff. But in a moving scene, both sets of children cling to his sleeves, stopping him from taking such drastic action. Their love and devotion deeply move his master, who allows all of Sokei's children to travel with him back to China. This play is one of the rare no pieces that deals with cross-cultural interactions and is even rarer for its portrayal of wakō pirates. These stories are scarcely found in Japanese literature, making Tōsen a unique piece. The no stage features a beautiful representation of the Tōsen, or Chinese junk, a large wooden sailing ship typical of the time. This is an elaborate prop with colorful sails and a detailed structure. Seeing the characters perform aboard this ship adds a dynamic visual element that makes this play particularly engaging. One of the most emotional scenes occurs when Sokei's children stop him from leaping into the sea by grabbing his sleeves. This powerful image of family love, transcending borders and cultures, makes a lasting impression on the audience. In the final scene, we see Sokei and his children happily departing for China. Filled with joy, Sokei dances on the boat as it sets sail. The play ends with the ship disappearing into the distance, heading back to China. No place often leaves us with emotions to reflect on long after the performance, and Tōsen is no exception. It's a story of loyalty, family, and the pain of divided loyalties, but ultimately it celebrates unity and love. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Kasumi Geppo. Until next time, may the timeless stories of Japan's stage continue to inspire you. ではまた。